What is good, everybody? It's your host with the most, Bryce. Got my dog Kim. Another episode of I Need a Sports Podcast, man. Y'all already know what it is. Coming to you from a different location. Currently on a business trip right now for work. So recording in a different spot, not the usual setup, but hey, y'all gonna get this podcast regardless, man. So finna jump right into NFL Week 2 recap. Another great weekend of football. A lot of big time surprises, crazy finishes. I mean, if you've been betting on some of these games and you've been on the bad end of some of these bets, I feel bad for you. I myself have been on a few. I know Kev has been on some as well. But yeah, man, these games is
Oof.
crazy. We'll starting off with Thursday night football. Um, I'll be the first to say it. I don't know how my team got the dub. We probably didn't deserve to get the dub, but hey, man, winning teams gonna find a way to win at the end of the day. And like I've been telling
Facts.
y'all, losing teams gonna find a way to lose. And that's why I couldn't put my faith in the Chargers like that. I get they got a great team on paper. Derwin James is a beast. They had JC Jackson back this week, but like the end of the day, somehow the Chargers just find a way to lose when it matters the most. And hey man, we got it done. We got it done. What'd you think of that game?
Man, like it was crazy because it seemed like the Chargers was kind of not like dominating, but it seemed like they have full control over the first half, but they was only up by like 3 points. So it was not even a big deal. It
Man?
wasn't even like a big deal. So I don't know, like I don't know, it was really a big deal because they was only up by 3 points, and then going to the second half, Herbert took that big shot, messed up it was his ribs, huh? That he messed up.
Yeah, got fractured ribs now. They say he's day to day. Me personally,
I
I
don't
would
know.
hold him out for
Yeah, hold him out for sure.
like they could definitely stay above water. And with the way the Raiders and Broncos are looking, I have no worries about them finishing
Yeah,
second or if they fight back to first. But I think they should let him sit, let him rest up because you're gonna need him to end the
you'll need
season
him for
if
sure.
they want any chance. But yeah, man. I don't know. Like you said, the Chargers were in control the whole game. We started off. We got ball first. We had a great first couple plays. We get down to like their 45, and it's 3rd and 2. We've been running the ball perfectly fine. Short passing game was working. We go jet sweep with McCole Hardman and try to have Travis Kelsey block Bosa. And I was like, why would we call that? Hardman loses like 3 yards. We punt. Chargers march right down the field. We hold them to a field goal. And then we still didn't score. Now they're up 10-0. And then Mahomes comes back down the field, has one of his signature plays, rolls out to the right, swings it back across the body. But man, hey, that I was kind of nervous coming into the season. Usually it always takes a minute or a couple games or two to like for the defense to gel. And especially since we have a bunch of young talent, but Spagnola got them boys playing some defense. As much as people want to talk about how we got lucky with the refs and Mahomes throwing these almost interceptions, whatever, stat people want to create for him. But
It's
the
not even a
defenses
stat,
look,
like
yeah, it's not
almost.
even a stat. They just coming up with shit to try to bring him down at this point. Can't even let it phase you. But the defense, man, they like as good as the Chargers defense was playing and as good as their offense was looking, that defense they clamped down towards the end of the second quarter and that whole second half they did their thing. So they really surprised me there. The Chargers had 2 linemen go out, so that kind of helped. But I think I forgot to touch on it on the last episode. We were missing our not star, but our rookie cornerback that we drafted with our first pick of the draft, Trent McDuffie. He in the Arizona game, he didn't get thrown at, so he was looking pretty good. He
Yeah,
pulled his hamstring that game. Shout out to Arizona's terrible turf. Apparently, hopefully they get some of that fixed by the time the Super Bowl because we're gonna be right back there, in February, calling it now. But Yeah, man. He was out, so I was really worried. Something told me I got Mike Williams on one of my fantasy teams. Something told me to just put him in because it don't matter who we put out there. He's gonna go off against us every game. It's like he got a personal vendetta against the Chiefs, and he got to go off.
Has
He
to.
did his thing. I thought he was gonna kill us the whole game, but that second half he got clamped down. Uh, Eckler, he he had a decent game, but he wasn't doing anything special for real. And like Herbert himself, he threw about three should have been intercepted
It should
passes,
be a
and then he gave us the
sack.
game with the pick six. And it's like
Yeah.
people I've been seeing people on Twitter go crazy, like, oh, y'all got lucky the refs handed y'all this game. Like, no, y'all drove all the way down the field and could have won the game, and Herbert threw a pick six, which was his fourth since last year, I believe. And he leads the league now in pick sixes since then. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Jameis might have caught him after this weekend. Who knows? But uh, but yeah, man. Like they over here on Mahomes' case for an almost pick, and Herbert threw a pick and
Threw a
lost the
pick.
game.
Yeah.
And he
The pick
almost threw a
six.
pick right before then. It hit Willie Gay right in his face mask. Should have been a pick six there too, or a pick at least. But nobody's talking about that. Nobody talking about our defense shutting down. And people want to talk about Mahomes. Okay, Mahomes the interception where they called the illegal contact on MVS. People are like that was a bad penalty. You literally can go watch the slow mo. Yes, MVS threw him down, but right before as Ms. MVS is running down the seam and he's trying to break for his post route, the cornerback literally extends both his arms and pushes, and that's when MVS grabs him and sheds him to the side. By the rules, that is illegal contact because they're already 25 yards down the field at that point.
Yeah.
Charger fans ain't want to hear that. Next one, Asante Samuel Jr. He straight up drops the ball. Should have been an interception. He should have caught it. He didn't catch it. Literally, they brought in the rules analyst 5 seconds later, and he literally said, "Yeah, this isn't a catch." You can clearly see the ball on the turf and his hands on top of the ball. I don't know what you want me to do with that one. Another one, Mahomes. Mahomes is his getting the defense to jump off sides is one of his strong suits. Nobody's better than him and Rodgers in the game. They can get the defense to jump offside and they have free plays to take a shot. He takes free shots. He don't give a fuck. Like it don't matter if the interception happened because we know this play coming back. It's just a shot to see like, hey, if we can get the ball down the field on a free play, let's try it. He's been doing this ever since he got in the league. People still say, oh, he getting away with interceptions. Like, no, he's literally a dude maybe triple cover down the field. But if you jump off sides, fuck it. I'm gonna throw the ball because I'm that confident. It might work. And
Yeah.
sometimes it do work. So like ain't knocking for it, man. But like I said, at the end of the day, gonna find a way to win. We found a way to win. A pick six, save the game, and then shout out to my boy Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man.
Oh man. Oh
I've
my
been
God.
one. He's balling.
Yeah, he's
You
balling.
know me. I've been one of his biggest critics. I mean, I like we talk about all the time. Like, imagine if we would have kept Kareem Hunt, but
Mhm.
we draft Clyde into the first round in 2020, and he hasn't lived up to the standards. His rookie year, he battled with some injuries. Last year, he was battling with some injuries as well. So the story's been he's injury prone. But last year, I want to say he had some surgery on I think something. It might have been his gallbladder or something, but he lost a lot of weight before the season, and he wasn't even at his playing weight to start the year. This year, he's been fully healthy, and you could tell on the field we finally using him like LSU used him, and he's
Yeah.
thriving. People want to talk about the Derwin James dumping Kelsey on his back. Like that was a great play. I give it to him. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire also trucked Derwin James and ran for another 15 yards after catching a little pass coming out the backfield. So, hey man, we 2-0 at the end of the day. A great division win. You're gonna need division wins to get to the playoffs.
For sure.
I still got full confidence in my team, man. Like they finding a way to win. And like that was people are like, oh, y'all played terrible football. Y'all didn't deserve to win. Well, that should really be scary in a sense because if we're playing terrible football
And
and we
still
still
winning.
won the game, what we gonna do when they get it together? Like this offense is still a work in progress. These are all
Yeah.
new pieces. We still trying to figure it out, and it still looks pretty decent right now. And that Charger defense ain't nothing to play with, man.
Yeah,
Like
it's not.
they are some dogs everywhere. People are like, oh, Chargers got the formula out to stop this team. No, the Chargers have Bosa,
Musa
Mack,
and Mac. Yeah,
yeah, and Derwin James in the back, and J.C. Jackson. Like no other defense is employing those players. So of course they're gonna look decent.
decent. Yeah,
But when Mahomes needed to shred them, what did he do? He shredded them.
shredded them. Yeah,
Threw,
easily.
threw a touchdown pass to Justin Watson. How many people knew of Justin Watson before that game?
No,
But I was telling you, wide receiver 5, he's kind of nice. And Mahomes has been throwing it to him in preseason. And look, right in the game, it shows up, man. So we keep it moving. We keep pushing. Forget what the haters have to say. Chiefs 2-0. It is what it is, man.
winners win. I mean that's what
Winners
winners
win.
do.
Winners
They
win.
find ways to win.
And people gonna credit Tom Brady for finding a way to win like a game he just played
Uh,
versus the Saints, where it's
oh,
3-3 halfway through the third quarter, and then they get blessed by getting some penalties, move up the field. He
oh,
finally throws a touchdown pass. Then they get a pick six to seal the game for real. Come on, man. What did we just do? We had a pick six to seal the game, but no, we didn't deserve to win. Out of here, man. Come on now. We also
ugh.
had more penalties than the Chargers that game, but no, the refs handed us that one. No, the Chargers lost the game like they always do. So it is what it is, man. But that was a Thursday night game. Great kickoff to the week. That made my weekend that much easier just watching stress free football because I knew my team had secured a dub already. But this weekend it's a lot of headlines to get into, and the first one I want to touch on is that Miami and Baltimore game, man. Because
Woo.
ooh, I thought it was over 35-14 headed into the fourth, and then boys exploded on Baltimore. I know a lot of Baltimore DBs ended up getting knocked out the game, but giving up 21 or losing a 21 point like lead like that in the fourth quarter and having it wasn't like they were just moving the ball methodically down. No, they were just going deep to Waddle to
Yeah.
Hill. It didn't matter. They were wide open. So, hey man, you think the Dolphins for real, or you think that was kind of just a fluke on Baltimore part?
Man, bro, like I was literally like today I was working and I was in my house like literally thinking I was like it was random thought. I was like, damn, like are the Dolphins like for real this year? Like is Tua really like because he leading the league in passing yards right now and like coming out of college, everybody had big hype for him. Like he's supposed to been doing what he's doing right now, but yeah, like I literally had that same question. I was like, bro, like, are these guys like serious this year? Like, are they like really like that? But also you gotta think like in a perfect world, yeah, Reek and Jalen Waddle, they gonna put up like those type of numbers, but every week, bro, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
So it's just like, they gonna have to find other ways to win. Like you said, like you just said, the Ravens, they had injuries come back and bite them in the ass, that fourth quarter. So I think that's really mostly how they won that game because of injuries mostly. But I mean, you can't take nothing away from what Tua showed in that game. And I mean, hey, he was taking shots to Tariq, and Reek was
eating them alive.
just catching them in his man, destroying them. So hey, maybe they are real. So shit, I don't know. We'll see. I can't wait for that Dolphins versus Bills game though.
Yeah,
That's
that,
gonna
that game
be
is coming up this week, so that's gonna be a real test because
yeah, that's gonna
the
be a test.
Bills. I've never seen a team this like so many people get behind one team like this and just ride the train. Oh, Super Bowl, they got the MVP. Whatever, it's week 2, so there's still a lot of football to be played, a lot left to be finished on the field and decided on the field. Because everybody on the Bills hype train, which they deserve some hype because they've been playing their asses off. And then
They deserve
Miami, like
some.
you said,
Definitely deserve some
are they
hype.
for real or was that a fluke? Because one of the players that was giving up a lot of these or was involved in a lot of these busted coverages was Kyle Hamilton, their first round draft pick, safety out of Notre Dame. And remember on I think it was like preseason week 2 or no, it was week 1. I came back on the podcast and I watched the game. Was like he did not look good, and it was a lot of reports coming
Yeah, he
out like
didn't look good.
he just hasn't been looking good, and he blew 2 coverages that gave up 2 of those touchdowns to that had them. Miami come back the game, and that second one to Tyreek that went deep down the left sideline, the corner clearly thinks he has safety help behind him. So he literally just sits there and Tyreek just runs past him and nobody's there. And then as the camera pan after Tyreek went to the end zone, you see two Baltimore defenders come in like, what are you doing? Like, you supposed to be there. He's like, what you talking about? Like,
Yeah,
so I don't know if he probably depending on the health of their secondary, I don't know if he kind of catches, some flack and gets put on the bench for a little bit to, think about what happened and learn some things. But yeah, man, they Miami has all the tools to be a very dangerous team. I don't know if they'll be able to put it all together, but hey, so far, the Miami game last week, I don't really count that as like, oh, this is like they didn't put no fear in my heart. They didn't really look good. They only scored one touchdown that game. The other one was a defensive touchdown. But if they can explode like that, like they did in this fourth quarter, and find a more consistent way to play that explosive with them weapons, yeah, they might be a force to be reckoned with. And I don't know how consistent they can stay with. Like I said, this is their new team. You got to see, but like, say they
yeah.
beat the Bills this upcoming week, they're in first place in the AFC
They're in
East,
first
and
place.
they can maybe somewhat be able to withstand that because they're going to be playing a third place uh schedule this year because that's what they finished last year. The Bills got to play first. The Patriots got to play second, so they already got New England number. Not really worried about the Jets. They can handle the Bills and maybe split. Who knows? But the Bills have given them a lot of problems these past couple years, and they look really hot right now. So, like I said, that is the game of the week. Definitely gonna be tuned into that one.
Definitely.
I won't bet on it because I really don't know who's gonna win. I want to say because the Bills look unstoppable right now, so I want to say the Bills. But hey, man, like I've said before, Tyreek gives Buffalo problems. That's one of the main reasons we've been able to beat them so many times these past couple years. So that's gonna be a nice little game. Gonna tell us a lot week 3. It's still gonna be early season, but that's gonna tell us a lot right there, man. And I hated the one thing I hated. I just hated to see Lamar lose. Lamar didn't do anything wrong in that game.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing wrong. He was actually amazing.
Had a
He ran like
perfect
for like a
QB
70.
rating.
Yeah, he ran for like a 72-yard touchdown or some shit, some crazy shit. Like
Yeah,
he had a he had a great game. So I'm not putting no blame on him.
yeah.
So
No blame, and he just keep like haters gonna keep saying what they're saying, but like they say, he had the 72-yard run for a touchdown. Had a perfect passer rating. He's throwing and running the ball the most efficiently in the NFL. Literally, I saw a stat today. He's ranked first, Allen second, Mahomes third for amount of passing attempts and amount of passing touchdowns. Lamar has thrown the ball 59 times, I want to say, and he has 7 touchdowns, I believe. So he's literally being the most efficient quarterback right now, and people are still like, oh, he's a running back. Baltimore still don't want to pay him, and he keep playing like this, man. Baltimore is not going to be able to pay him, and he's going to be out of there because somebody's going to pay Lamar. And Tua, because Tua was not looking good at all in the first half. He had 2 interceptions. They're down 21 points. People are at halftime. I'm reading tweets. People are ready to write Tua off right then and there.
mhm.
But if Tua is not able to play like he did that second half of the season and Miami falls off, Lamar is from Florida. I don't know if they'll be able to give him the full contract he wants because of how they just paid Tyreek and stuff. But hey, man, watch out. If Tua don't produce like they want him to this year, Lamar could definitely be a top target for Miami this upcoming year. So that's just something to keep your eyes out on, man. But like I said, man, they both bought out. It just so happened the Dolphins got they did the thing. They made the comeback and they won the game. Hate to see it for Lamar, but that's just the way the dice roll this game. Another game I want to touch on, and I'll start it off by apologizing to Cowboys fans everywhere. I bet against y'all this week. Thought the Bengals were gonna do it, but in the same breath, I'm gonna say, I was wrong. Y'all did y'all's thing this weekend. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. Cause what have I been telling people this whole time, man? People just wanted to throw Joe Burrow into the the limelight. Oh, he's the best quarterback, the best young quarterback in the league, best quarterback in the AFC. They're definitely headed back to the AFC Championship, no problem. They're gonna be back in the Super Bowl. That team is great. They got a bunch of young talent. Like, no, that's not how this works whatsoever.
Mhm.
They had a Cinderella run. I give them their props. What they did last year was amazing. But to think they were just about to repeat that this year,
Crazy.
especially
It's
last year
crazy.
when they were 8-7 at a point in time and playing Baltimore for the division, Baltimore was just banged up with all their injuries. They finished the season 10-7, and then they go on to win every playoff game by a last second field goal. That's not that's not sustainable. And people are like, oh, well, their offensive line can't block. Yes, their offensive line can't block, but Joe Burrow is also holding the ball for a long time. They're going to need to switch up their play calling. They can't go deep ball anymore. People are covering that. And Joe Burrow got to get rid of the ball because he's average
Hmm.
mobile wise, but he's not that mobile to where he's just escaping sack after sack and it's showing. They're going to get that man killed, and he's going to kill himself by holding on to that rock. And Bengals might find themselves out of playoff contention completely if they keep this up. Because their schedule is not going to get easier. They still got to play that Bucks defense. They still got to play the Bills. They got to play us. And I'm pretty sure, like, oh, well, they beat Mahomes twice. Yeah, we're going to get our revenge. Just wait on that. Like, we've been licking our chops for that game. But they got a lot of tough games. They got to play Miami, too. Like, there's not a lot of easy wins on that schedule anymore. These last two games were supposed to be their easy wins and they dropped them. So do you think it's overreaction or you think hey it's like you need to be worried with things in Cincy? How you feel about them after these first 2 weeks?
Oh no, they definitely need to be worried because going down 0-2 in that division, and the Steelers they need to bench. It's time for Michigan. It's only been two
You
games.
already ready to
Yeah,
bench Trubisky?
get him out of here. Yeah, he's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. But going down 0-2 in that division, it's not good. It's not good, man. But I don't think it's overreaction. I think you're right on cue with that. Like you literally been telling us this. Like they gonna get what they gonna get their ass whooped this year. Like people are literally
Absolutely.
circling that game. Jamar Chase keeps on running his mouth.
He got locked up this
He
week.
got he got locked up by Trayvon Diggs, and I've been shitting on Diggs for a minute now
Yeah, me
because
too. Look, I went and betted Jamar Chase prop because I figured, oh, he'll back it up. It's the Cowboys. First week with Cooper Rush. Bengals should bounce back. No. Cowboys, first half, they whooped their ass. Second half, they didn't really do much, but they beaten them so bad the first half, and that defense stayed on them so much in the second half, they still couldn't come back as is. They did enough. So hey, a win is a win. And Dallas, they just need to stay afloat without while Dak is out. Now we'll touch on them later because that's another conversation we had where Cooper Rush gonna take his job or
That's
is it
what I'm
still Dak's job?
saying. That's what I'm saying, though. Hey, because I was gonna touch up on that
Okay, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go segue into that. Segue into that. Because
because it's like
Skip Bayless tried to tell us he was all in on Cooper Rush because his one game last year versus Minnesota he played really well, but that first half Cooper Rush looked pretty good. Him and Noah Brown they were looking pretty decent. So what you think about that?
I don't know, man. Coop, man, he looking pretty fucking good. And then Gallup comes back for Monday Night Football versus the Giants. He gets Gallup back, and so it's like we don't know how long Dak's gonna be out, but let's say he's out for like let's say 5 games. What if Cooper Rush go 5-0 and like he's just just going crazy and he's the hot hand? Jerry Jones gotta have to think about it. It's gonna be a thought like, hey, do we put in our franchise quarterback or do we just stay with the hot hand? And personally, I think you gotta stay with the hot hand, man, because he don't look bad. Cooper
He,
Rush don't look bad.
he
So
did not look bad
hey, man,
whatsoever.
it's gonna be it's definitely interesting topic. So shit, I don't know. We'll see.
And we'll see. I will say this in Dak's defense, he didn't look good at all. Don't get me wrong, but he did play Tampa Bay's defense, who's looking like maybe arguably top two, top three defense, depending on who you ask in the league this year. So they're definitely shutting stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
Cincy's defense, They went on a magical run too. They were saving Burrow a lot last year. I don't think they're as good as they were last year either. So both sides of the ball are coming back down to earth now in Cincy. But we'll have to see because next
Yeah.
week Dallas plays New York Monday night, and the Giants surprisingly they're 2-0. They squeaked out another one. I'm still not taking them serious because they're winning by field
Yeah, me
goals too.
neither.
I think Dallas probably wins that game, even though New York's defense has looked
I
kind of
think so.
pretty decent. But I think, man, Micah Parsons. I mean, all he got to do is keep it up. But if you were to give out awards for the first week, defensive player of the year, hands down, that man
Hands
is
down.
single handedly wrecking everybody's offensive game plan. I'm gonna give him his props if nothing else. He's doing the damn thing. I'm sure Burrow had nightmares Sunday night after that game because every time he looked up and got the snap and looked up to see where his receivers are, Michael Parsons was in his face, and it just made it that much more funnier that Lyle Collins was blocking him, the man they got rid of. And hey, maybe that was a good decision by them to get rid of him. But yeah, man, things in Dallas about to get really interesting. Their schedule coming up, like I said, they got New York next week Monday night. Then after that, let me see my schedule loading real quick. I'm looking at my phone. They got the Commanders. I mean, I think that's a pretty winnable game. They got them at home.
I think
Carson
that's a
Wentz has
winnable
been
game.
throwing that ball everywhere, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to throw it against that defense, especially if Michael Parsons doing what he's doing. And Carson Wentz good for a sack, fumble, and an injury if you hit him hard enough. Then they got to play the Rams, so maybe not that one, but the Rams have not looked that great. They looked good to start off the game versus Atlanta this weekend. Then they completely sold and gave up the lead and almost let Atlanta come back from a 28-3 deficit. And then they got the Lions. And maybe by then they're saying Dak is maybe out just 3-4 weeks now. But I'll give it to the Cowboys. They could easily go. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. They got the Eagles after that. That'll be a tough game in Philly. Philly looks really good. We'll touch on them later.
Looks
But they could
very good.
easily go 2-2, 3-1, I think. I feel like they have a chance to either upset the Rams or beat the Eagles on just some, hey, any given Sunday. And the Rams or Eagles might not be giving them as much respect as they deserve. And that Michael Parsons coming in and wrecks the game plan. They scored enough points. That could be a dub for them. So, yeah, man, definitely some things to watch in Dallas. I'm still not backing off my stance that they don't make the playoffs, but they might prove me wrong, and make it to the playoffs. But at the end of the day, Cooper Rush might play well, but you're really about to trust him to go win you some playoff games? I don't know
Probably
about
not.
that.
No,
I
I
don't know
probably
about
not.
that one. So as good as people will want to hype them up if they do start playing good, I still have no faith in them to do any damage when they get to the playoffs, man. But next topic I want to touch on, man. It hurts to see it happen, but it's football. Injuries. Got Trey Lance, broken ankle, out for the year. It's Jimmy G time again in San Francisco, man.
Porn
Oh,
star
how you
Jimmy
feel
G.
about that one, man? How you? Because I know a lot of people are saying like, obviously last week Trey Lance didn't look good, but I mean he was playing in a damn monsoon out in Chicago. Nobody really looked good. Justin Fields won the game, but he was throwing to wide open receivers, and even then, he only threw the ball like 14 times. So weather played a great part in that game, but this weekend versus Seattle, Seattle coming off that hype win versus Denver. Now they looking like the Seattle I projected them to be for the rest of the year. He looked good the first drive or two. I don't. I mean, I get it. Obviously hindsight is 2020. I don't know how many QB draws I'm calling for Trey Lance. Like I get he's an athletic mobile QB, but I don't know how many QB draws I want my starting quarterback running up the gut, especially when like he's not that big. He doesn't have that
He's
like thick of a.
not at
He's
all.
not Josh Allen, so like those hits will wear down eventually. But they were calling him up the gut a couple times before that. Then excuse me, breaks his ankle, and sadly enough, he got up. He didn't even know his ankle was broken. He got his lineman to help him up. He stands up, and then he looks down and realizes, oh shit, like my ankle is facing this way. And then
Yeah.
Air Cast got the cart. and you already know at that point like he's done for the season. And reports come out later at the game he's done, and now team back on Jimmy G train. So how do you think does this injury change any of your thoughts moving forward with San Francisco and how you thought their season would play out, or what do you think?
It's hard to say because I mean I still feel like the NFC side is still kind of a toss up. So I don't know. It's still like I said, it's still hard to say because we know what Jimmy G can do. He can at least he could get them there. Like we seen him get them there like plenty of times. So like I wouldn't be surprised if he gets them there again. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just a tough situation. Like you said, I don't know how many plays like Trey Lance is he's a skinny quarterback. He's a stick of a quarterback. So it's like I don't know why Shanahan would do a QB draw for him. There's only like one skinny quarterback I would do a QB draw for, and that's Lamar
Or
Jackson because
Jackson,
he
yeah.
can like literally move out. He can literally like move out the way whenever he wants. Trey Lance don't got that agility or whatever you want to call it to to move around like that. But yeah, I don't know. I still think they'll make some noise because that defense is still very, very good. They still have a great offense. They probably getting killed back in week 3. So I mean I still think they'll still make some damage. But as far as I was getting them, like I put them had them going to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they get there.
Yeah,
They
because
might come close, but I don't know if they get there. So
that is what people were saying. Like yes, you could win with Jimmy, even though you're winning in spite of Jimmy, not because of Jimmy. Is not like he's doing anything to help you win, but he wins games at the end of the day. And you can make it to the playoffs and win enough games and make a deep playoff run. And they made it to the Super Bowl that one year with them. But the big question mark was, can you win a Super Bowl with Jimmy G? And the 49ers head off or front office and head coach and Shanahan, they thought no. So that's why they made the switch to Trey Lance. So that was what they were betting on this year. And it sucks because now Trey Lance will be going on 3 years without any real football play because his senior year in North
yeah.
Dakota, they chose to cancel the whole season. They literally played one game, that's it. And it was basically just a showcase for him. Then their season was over. He goes into the draft. Obviously, last year he got a few snaps here and there. I think he played his first start was versus your Texans last year when Jimmy was out. But then
Yeah.
no real like game time experience last year. And then this year, he was supposed to work his way up throughout the year, build that experience so they could be primed to make a deep playoff run because they think they have the quarterback to do it. And now he's out for the year. So that's going to be 3 years. And now it's like you're 3 years into it, or next year will be his third year of his contract, and you still don't really know what you have in Trey Lance. But
Yeah.
you basically forged your whole future for him because you traded away 3 first-round picks for him. And now it's still a big question mark on if he's going to be able to be the guy that gets y'all over the hump and gets y'all the Super Bowl. And it's just super tough for San Francisco. Luckily for them, they do still have a very talented team on both sides of the ball. A lot of offensive weapons. IU, Debo. They say it should be getting Kittle back. If not this week, probably week 4. But if Jimmy can get them to Super Bowl, I don't know. The NFC does look a little bit weaker this year. I think though. I think where they might have struggled early because Trey Lance didn't have that experience. I think now they'll be able to win a lot of games, so they should be good for playoffs. But as far as making it through the playoffs with Jimmy G, I don't know, man, because Jimmy G's playoff career, he's 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's never he's never really made any big time plays in the playoffs where it's like, oh, that play from Jimmy G changed the game. No, like last year, I think the Packers game, he threw the ball like 8 times. They won the game. That NFC
Yeah.
Championship years ago when they made the Super Bowl, they ran the ball like 40 times against the Packers and they won the game that way. So it's gonna be interesting to see, but I know there's like a group of fans who still should have believed, oh Jimmy, it should have still been Jimmy's job. He should have never lost a job. And then there's a group of fans, that don't like Jimmy. And from one of my favorite shows, First Things First. Chris Broussard is a big Jimmy G believer. So he thinks, this actually makes the 49ers more likely to be Super Bowl contenders. But like I said, it's week 2, long season ahead of us. We'll see. But Jimmy G gonna be able to win the game somehow, some way. So they can rest easy knowing that. But it definitely sucks to lose Trey Lance. Another game, and this is gonna be interesting because I've been wanting to talk about this one. We were talking about this in the DMs a lot this weekend, man. And I'll just ask this question and I'll give it to you. Is it panic time in Las Vegas or is it overreaction? I think I already know where you stand, but go ahead and let the people, let them know where you stand and what you think, because that's your AFC West champs right there, man. So, how you feeling after 2 weeks of watching Raiders football?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of a little panic just because you don't want to get too behind in that division, because if you get too behind in that division, I mean you're gonna stay in that fourth or third spot the whole year. But you gotta also like think it could be like overreaction because Chargers, Herbert, he's dealing with that real injury, so he might not even be the same the whole year. And the Broncos, we got some fucking joke. That goes a
Broncos are
fucking
not
joke.
good. I thought they could be decent. Russell Wilson is washed. Everybody in Seattle knew, and they were trying to tell us, and we were not listening. He's not it whatsoever. And it's
He's
funny
not
now
in no
because
more.
Richard Sherman be like quote tweeting, talking trash about him too during the game. But like, yeah, Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson, Denver just continues to make mind blowing offseason moves that just continually screw them down the line by betting on their future without really knowing anything. Gave Russ 280 million. This is what they're getting right now. Hey, let them know when it's a run or pass. Pass, run. Like, come on, man. Come on.
So
That's
fucking
terrible.
corny. So corny.
So corny, but they're definitely finishing in last place if the Raiders don't get it together. But I think the Raiders are a better team than Denver. But yeah, man, you continue with the Raiders because
It's like you've been saying, it's still kind of early. It's still kind of premature. It's only week 2. I have belief in, honestly, they won't get that record that I was saying that before the season started. They won't get that record at all. But I think that they can, like I said, it's still early, but I think they'll still be able to sneak in the playoffs. So I think they'll get it going like later on in the season. But it's we've been talking about this. It's literally all up to Derek Carr. He had a atrocious first week of football. He played as the second week he had one good half. Then that second half he just completely fell apart. I mean, he's been making me look like a retard. He's been making me look like an idiot. So I really do hope he get it together and get everything going. But as of right now, it is not looking good in Vegas. I know Devontae is like
I'm telling you, Devontae is pissed. Especially, you can see it in his body language on the field. And like this weekend, I was telling you, Devontae Adams' people, for everybody that don't know, his family is from Oakland. That's where he grew up. He was a Raiders fan growing up. All his family Raiders fans. So that's part of the reason why he came to play for, even though they're not there anymore. This is his hometown team. That's why he came to play for them. So he had a lot of family members at his first home game as a Raider. Started off the game great, caught a touchdown pass, 2 receptions, 1 touchdown, 12 yards, and that's how his game ended. He was targeted 5 more times throughout the game and did not get a single completion. And a lot of that was Derek Carr just was making terrible throws. There was the one in overtime. There's two in overtime that I remember watching. When they first got the ball after Arizona went for it and didn't get it, a simple out route. He's open. Derek Carr throws it at his 5 feet, or like 5 inches in front of his feet at the ground. Then, as they're starting to move the ball, Devontae Adams is wide open on a crossing route, and Derek Carr throws it at the defender and almost gets an interception. Then I know you're saying, well, this is not all his fault, but I went back and looked. It literally was his fault for not his fault that Hunter Renfro fumbled, but people were saying, "Oh, Las Vegas, why didn't McDaniel's why didn't he run the ball? Like should have just ran the ball. We're right there. You can kick a field goal to win the game." They had a run called. Derek Carr audibled out of
Oh,
it
he
to,
audible.
to throw the smoke screen to Hunter Renfro. And then Hunter Renfro fumbles for the second play again. Arizona picks it up, runs to the end zone, touchdown, game over. So, I mean, I know there's some like I said, I be researching and doing my due diligence in Raiders Twitter just to see what they be saying. And there's still a crowd of people that, oh, it's not Derek Carr's fault. He's a good quarterback. And I'm just like, the man has been QB for 9 years. I know it's not the best organization. I know he hasn't had the best teams, but at the end of the day, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I know it's early, but if this continues, Derek Carr has to go after this year. What other result do you think you're going to possibly get from this man? I get it. He can throw for a lot of yards. He can get he leads the league in what, like 30 game winning drives, like you said, comeback drives. But the reason he's able to put up a stat like that is because he's always in a losing situation where he has to do that to win the football game. And so he doesn't look good these first 2 weeks. Yes, it could be because of a system and stuff, but at the end of the day, man, you have Devontae Adams, one of the, if not best wide receivers in the league. You have Darren Waller, who's a top three, top five tight end in the game. Hunter Renfro, I know fumble, but he's one of the better slot receivers in the game. You got to figure something out. You can't go blank in second half after putting up 20 points and being up 20-0. You can't not put up points in the second half like that. He threw for
Yeah,
started off the game. I want to say it was like 14 for 18 and finished like 25 for 39, but he only oh it was 17. I think he had 17 completions, and then he finished the game with 25, and he only threw for 42 yards in the second half. That's unacceptable, especially with that
yeah,
talent.
it's not gonna cut it.
Half the time, it don't even matter what play is called. You look Devontae's way and you hit him in his numbers because he's gonna be open, and he couldn't even do that. So I'm personally, I mean, I'm not wishing any bad luck on your pick, but like I said, man, between them and the Chargers, they find the most mind blowing ways to lose games that'll just have you sitting there like, how in the hell did they lose? Like they shouldn't be playing this bad, but at the end of the day,
Yeah,
they find a way. And for the Raiders, it's Derek Carr a lot of times. Like either it's an interception or a pass where it's like, oh, you should have been able to complete that. And it's like, he's just not, in my eyes, he's just not a top 10 QB in this league because he can't do it on a consistent basis. So, hey, man, hopefully, they are able to turn things around. Like you said, it's not a good look to start 0-2, especially in this division, which I mean, we still have an argument to be the best division of football, but right now, as of right now, I wouldn't call this the best division of football. We have my Chiefs and the Chargers who look really good, but the Raiders and Broncos do not look good whatsoever. So, hey man, they're gonna have to get it together, and they're gonna have to get it together quick because you do not want to fall too far behind. They already have one division loss to the Chargers, so you keep stacking up loss on top of that. They're, I mean, even if they do turn around, I'm not expecting them. At the very least, they'll split with all of us in the division if they even do that. They're not about to sweep us. They can't sweep the Chargers. Possibly could sweep the Broncos, but when they go to Denver, I wouldn't have any problem seeing them losing that game. I could easily see them lose that game. So they definitely got to get it together, man. They got to get it together. But moving forward, another game I'd like to touch on and get your reaction is Sunday Night Football, man. You're a bad man. I expected them to have a great turnaround, but do you think it's just, oh, they got it figured out, or was it they played the Chicago Bears? How do you feel about that one?
no, they definitely just played the Chicago Bears. Aaron Rodgers, he's a part owner over there in Chicago. He whoops those guys every fucking year. Um, but no, yeah, I wouldn't say that they figured it out yet because he was just throwing bombs to Watkins the whole time, and like you said, Sammy Watkins is literally good for a couple of games throughout the year.
and then he gonna be injured.
He gonna be hurt. So, but I'm glad they finally used Aaron Jones. Shit, it's like it's about time because that guy's a beast. Like he can catch, he can run, he can do it all. So I'm glad they finally use him. Definitely got to get him going and involved in the offensive game a lot more. But I don't know. I don't know if they got it figured out just yet. I would like to see them play a better team, and then if they win, then show like they're still dominant, and then maybe I can say they got it figured out. But I don't know. I won't overreact and say they do yet. So
Yeah, yeah, man. Um, I mean, as of Sunday night, I thought, okay, let's not react too much. They still got a tough division, but then I watched Monday night's game in Minnesota. I should have bet that one honestly because Kirk Cousins' Monday night record is awful. That should
I
have been
tried to
the
I tried
easiest
to
one.
tell motherfuckers. I tried to tell motherfuckers. Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins is
prime
he's
time Kirk
awful.
Cousins, he's not good.
He's terrible.
He's terrible. And Jefferson, he's a cold ass receiver. But yesterday he was getting locked up by big play Slay, and Kirk Cousins was also
Oh,
gifting
slave.
Slay a bunch of passes, like as if he was the receiver. Man, Minnesota did not look good. So I mean, as long as Green Bay gets rolling, which I'm sure they will, they'll find a groove in the regular season. They still probably be right there in contention. My pick for Minnesota of them winning the NFC North might not happen. Brought into a lot of that week one hype, but definitely gonna have to see them perform. Um, Luckily for them, I don't think they have too many more primetime games. So maybe Kirk Cousins won't feel the pressure and play completely terrible. But yeah, the NFC North is probably still easily beat Green Bay's at the end of the day. But talking about that Minnesota Philly game, man, Philly looks really good, and Jalen Hurts
Jalen
season.
Hurts, man.
I try
Oh
to
my
tell you, man, he
God.
get he just gets better every year, despite what all the critics say. Oh, he can't throw deep, he's not accurate. I watched him every year since he started at Alabama. He literally just progresses and gets better every single year, and he's got a lot of talent. And at the same time, you were watching AJ Brown be a main reason why the Eagles were so good. You were watching Tennessee can be completely ass, and it's because they ain't have nobody to throw the football to. And what do we say? What do we say? Tennessee, it's going to be a tough year for them. Like they're not a good football team anymore. Last year they had a top tier defense. It's hard to repeat that in this league. And then you get rid of Tannehill's best weapon, and Tannehill is an average quarterback at best. So yeah, man, Philly looked really good. Jalen Hurts spreading the ball to everybody. Devontae Smith had no catches this week. He was doing his thing this week. AJ Brown was doing this week. Everybody on Philly's offense, they were looking like a well-oiled machine, and that defense was locking up Minnesota, man. So,
Locking up.
are you buying into the Philly hype, or how you feel about them? So,
Oh, I'm definitely buying into the Philly hype. I think I don't know if it's gonna be this year, but I think at some point Jalen Hurts he will get a ring. He's like that, man. Like Jalen Hurts, like I said, man, I wasn't really a big Jalen Hurts fan. I was like, oh, this guy, I don't know why what everybody's seen him. He can't throw the ball. He's not really accurate. But like he said, like every year he's getting better and better and better. Like he's putting the time in. And this year, man, he looks like a different dog, man. He just looks I don't know, man. He just looks amazing. Like I said, eventually I think he will get a ring this year. They might be the team to beat. They might be the team to beat in the NFC, man. I don't know. They might
yeah,
be. They might be the team to beat, bro.
they might be. I just need to see them play good against the Cowboys because they haven't the last couple years. But I mean, I think they can
I
and
think
will
they
do
can
that.
too.
But being in that NFC East, like I said, I'm not buying into the Giants hype. They're squeaking away with wins against subpar teams. Cowboys, the defense will be tough, but I think Eagles offense has enough firepower to combat that. And then
Hmm.
the Commanders, they're not all that great. They're just average. With that division and getting to play those teams twice, they could easily find themselves getting in the first place if they win enough of their other games that they need to. And yesterday, that's a game they needed to win, and they got it. So, say Minnesota does end up, being good this regular season, they now have the tiebreaker over them.
Yeah,
So when it comes to playoff seeding, as long as they Eagles stay on track winning the division, I could easily see them being a 1 or 2 seed this year. But like you said, I don't know necessarily if it's their year when it comes playoff time. But the top dogs that we thought were going to be the top dogs in the NFC aren't looking that great this year.
they
Because
aren't at all.
the Bucks, we can touch on that game. The Bucks, I mean, their defense looks amazing, but that offense is not looking good. This week they got Green Bay, and they don't have Mike Evans since him and Marshawn Lattimore just can't
Hate
can't
each other.
not can't
They can't
not
be on the
get
same
into it.
field.
Yeah,
Man,
can't be on the field together at the same time, so they'll be without him. I was thinking, coming into the week, I was thinking, oh, the Bucks definitely will beat Green Bay with Mike Evans out and the way that offense is look. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I meant to tell you, and I'll just plug this in right now. If you see us retweeting on Twitter, we're part of a podcast fantasy league. The boys did just go 2-0 this week.
yes,
Last
sir.
week we scored the highest points in the league. This week we did it again. So we got a nice little team, man.
Got a
Our
nice
best players
team.
didn't even play that good this week, but we got Amon St. Brown. Woo!
Woo, boy, he put up
Woo!
some numbers,
He put
boy.
up some number. He put up 39 points for this week. Bucks put up 30 points for us. Their defense did. And we walked away with another dub, man. We 2-0. But I was gonna say we might need to plug in Russell Gage this week. I think his workload might be increased because Mike Evans out. I don't know if Julio's gonna be back because he's randomly hurt. So I mean,
Yeah,
like people were saying, he's old and he gets injured a lot. You see that coming to fruition now. So we might have to plug in Russell Gage this week because I think Tom Brady gonna be looking for him a lot. Dink and dunk because that Green Bay defense is looking pretty
I
stout.
think, yeah, they
So
look good.
so that'll be another game to watch, man. Another game to watch. But touching on that Tampa Bay New Orleans Saints game, man. How you feeling about our pick for NFC South winner?
Oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. I mean, man, it's so tough. But even like James playing through a injury too. I think his ribs are fractured too, huh?
Or no, he got 4 fractures in his back.
Yeah, in his back. Yeah, that's what it is. That sounds painful. So it's like, damn, I mean, it's just hard to, to win when your quarterback is playing hurt. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's still gonna stand. I mean, that defense is still pretty good, still top notch, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be all up to Jameis pretty much. And AK needs to get healthy. So once he comes back, maybe they'll do something, but it's literally all up to Jameis. So I don't know. We'll see.
Man, me personally, I'm with you. It's not looking too good. I don't think for our pick,
Yeah.
especially if we want them to win the NFC South. They needed to beat the Bucks, and especially the one game at home. I mean, they're gonna play Tampa Bay tough as is, as you see it. But I mean, Devin White said it after the press conference. Having played with Jameis Winston, they knew he was gonna give them the ball. It was just a matter of when. And sure enough, game got deep into third quarter, tied a battle, and then Jameis Winston starts throwing interceptions. One of those being a pick six, and it's like if they're gonna have any shot at winning the NFC South or even just winning football, you can't give
You
up the game
can't,
like
yeah,
that.
you can't do that.
And I was hoping, he didn't show any of that really last year. And like I said, he's battling the fracture in his back now. Preseason, I think he had an ankle injury, so he's clearly not at 100%, and he's trying to fight through it. But yeah, he's gonna have to play better and step up a little bit if we want to see the Saints, have some success. And I don't know, man. Teams in Louisiana, they just find a way to sell you at the end of the day. First it was LSU,
Man,
now it's looking like the
they
Saints.
hate us.
They hate us, man. They hate us. And I mean, they have wide receivers galore, but he's just not. Like I said, maybe it was just Tampa Bay's defense. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
see.
so.
We'll touch more on our picks on our podcast episode tomorrow. But I do have that pick already locked in. If I share one pick for this podcast, they're -3 versus Carolina. I think they're able to bounce back. Carolina hasn't looked good at all. Matt Rule should probably he is on the hot seat. He might be a coach that's fired
Definitely on
during the
hot seat.
season, if any. But I'm picking Saints to bounce back. Hopefully they get Kamara back. But even without him, they should have enough to beat Carolina by 3 points. And they're gonna need to beat them if they don't want to fall in the early hole because that's another division opponent. You start the division off 0-2. That's not gonna be you're gonna be fighting for a wild card spot more than likely at the end of the season because you know Tampa Bay gonna be there and they need to stay in line with Tampa Bay since Tampa Bay got them and hopefully get them when they travel to Tampa Bay. But yeah, man, New Orleans Saints win the NFC South. Kind of looking like a long shot right now the way the team looks, and I don't know if that pick will hit for us, man. But last game to touch on, man, and we hinted at it a few times earlier in the episode. Buffalo Bills, man, versus Tennessee. My boy Ashton, if you listening, which I know you
Whew.
gonna be listening because you tune in every episode, so shout out to you, man. We love the support.
Yeah, shout out to you, man.
But what did I tell you? What did I tell you? You talking about? Oh no, just wait. Tennessee gonna be good. No, y'all are not a good football team. And honestly, I was thinking, y'all would be decent enough to where Malik Willis really wouldn't play. But the way it's looking, by the middle of the season, like game 7, game 8, if y'all still ain't making no noise, they might just make the switch and be like, fuck it. Let's give Malik Willis some playing time so we can have something to build on moving into the next year and know what we got with him. Because Ryan
Yeah.
Tannehill does not look good. And I told y'all AJ Brown, like I'll never understand unless you just have a a one of one elite type QB. Like you have a Patrick Mahomes where you can be like, okay, well, yes, we have Tyreek Hill, but we can get rid of him because we have that type of quarterback at the end of the day where he can make others around him better and we can make up for what we lose with Tyreek Hill. When y'all get rid of AJ Brown, y'all didn't I mean, I get it. Burt, y'all drafted Burks, but you don't know what you're getting with him. And you have Tannehill, who's an average quarterback, in my personal opinion. So, of course, y'all were gonna fall off a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. That defensive side of the ball, y'all were one of the top defenses last year. That's gonna regress to the mean. Injuries happen. I think was it their linebacker or defensive end Hardy. He went out in the preseason. He's out for the year. They unfortunately just lost Taylor Lewan, offensive lineman. It looks like for the year again. I know he's been injury riddled the past couple years. Derrick Henry not looking that great. Line can't block and open up holes for him. It's going to be a long year in Tennessee. The only saving grace y'all have is that the AFC South might be the worst division of football this year
Oh, definitely is.
because the
It's a
Colts
fire
don't look
dumpster.
good whatsoever. Jacksonville stomped a mud hole in them. I was saying Jacksonville wouldn't be good, and I still don't think they're necessarily that good of a team, but they might win the division by default because nobody else is winning games. It's like the rest of the division is allergic to winning. So, yeah, man. Tennessee not looking good. I'm passing it off to my boy Cam, but yeah, Ashton, let me know what you think in the comments, as I'm sure you will. But I tried to tell you, I tried to warn you. Tennessee's it's gonna be a long year for them, and this is Tannehill's last year, if not last couple of games, the way he's looking right now. So, what do you think about Tennessee?
Oh, definitely not looking good for Tennessee. Um I tried to tell Ashton, man, Tannehill's he's not the answer. And it's so obvious that he's not the answer. I just want them it's kind of fucked up what they did to Malik Willis last game. They just threw him in there
Throw him in
for the
there, like
wood. Yeah. Like, come on now, bro. Like, don't do him like that. But I hope he gets a fair chance, a fair shot at, a real game. But yeah, it's not looking good for Tennessee. But the crazy thing about it, like you said, the AFC South is so bad that they could literally they could still win they still got a chance to win the division, which is mind blowing. But as of right now, nah, it's not looking too good in Tennessee. So
Oh, man, not looking good whatsoever. Jacksonville atop the division at 1-1. The Colts 0-1-1. Matt Ryan looks old and washed up. I mean, they have some injuries on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, man, like I was saying on a couple podcasts earlier, like if this season don't go well, you're probably looking like, oh, Frank Wright might have to fire him, might have to blow up a few things on the team because the Colts are supposed to have been ready to win for the last 3, 4 years now. It's just, oh, we need a quarterback. They've now whiffed on 3 quarterbacks, and Matt Ryan doesn't pan out, and it's looking like he's not going to pan out. So you whiff on 3 quarterbacks, and the running game hasn't looked that great with Jonathan Taylor. It might be it might be time to move some things around, try to trade some pieces for value in Indianapolis. My Chiefs got them this week, and I think we're gonna whoop them again. So they
got me
they
out,
probably they
man.
probably starting on a 0-3 season, but with the AFC South, it may or may not matter, but that'll be left to be seen. On the flip side of the Tennessee game, got Buffalo, man. I'm not gonna lie, they do look scary, and we'll see them week 6. I think they'll probably beat us then, the way they're looking, and we won't have one of our linebackers, Willie Gay, who just got suspended, who would be big in trying to help stop Josh Allen. But man, Buffalo is looking really good. I still, when the team is so whole hyped up to win the Super Bowl, they just don't win it by default because it's like it's hard to live up to all that, especially so early. But as of right now, man, they deserve all the hype they're getting. A little bit too much, I think, but they're whooping everybody's ass. The problem thing with Buffalo is their last 20 wins have all been by double digits, which is an amazing stat. But on the flip side of that, that means when they play close games, as long as you can stay close with them, they're not gonna finish you up. They're gonna lose the game. So people keep throwing that stat out there all last night, like, oh, Buffalo's killing teams. Okay, so when a team keeps it closer, y'all gonna be able to finish because that was the story of last year. Y'all, when y'all look good, y'all look great, if you know what I mean. But when you look bad, you look terrible. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see if they can keep up with all this hype. Josh Allen, early MVP favorite. Me personally, yes, you give him credit because he whooped the Rams last week, but I didn't expect much out of Tennessee, personally speaking, and I've been saying that. So for them to go out and blow out Tennessee at home, I saw that one coming. I expected that from them because Tennessee isn't a good team to me. But Buffalo, what do you think? Is it too much hype? Are they the real deal? Or how you feeling about Buffalo 2 weeks in?
Oh man, it's kind of hard to say, but I think they're the real deal. I think they're the real deal. I mean, they did all this without their receiver too. Diggs was just
Gabe
going,
Davis, yeah.
uh, Diggs was just going fucking bizarre. I mean, he just one of the best receivers in the league right now. Top 5, top 10, wherever you want to put him. And they got Josh Allen, like you said, an early MVP candidate. I still probably would have like Pat or LG over him right now. But I think they're the real deal. Because that defense is fucking disgusting. That defense going, they're gonna do its job, and then the offense, that offense literally can match up with any offense in the league right now. So I don't know. That y'all play in week 6, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna
That's
be a very
it's in KC too, but last year they came into Kansas City in the regular season and whooped our ass. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again. It's just we'll see them in the playoffs. Until they beat us
playoffs.
there, if they see us, then we can talk. But at the same time, the AFC is so loaded this year, and the Buffalo Bills are getting all this hype. Say they do go finish first place in the AFC, but then they have to play a team like the Chargers or the Ravens to start off the playoffs. They could
So
easily lose that game, and then it's like, The season
Yeah.
was a complete failure. And then what are you saying about Josh Allen and the Bills? So that's what I'm saying. Like, people might want to ease up and put in all these Super Bowl expectations on them because if they don't get it this year, people are gonna start looking a lot different or viewing the Bills a lot differently. So I'm just saying, man, beware of that hype. It come back to bite you, man. Because I
Definitely
mean,
could.
you see how they hate on my Chiefs, and we actually won a Super Bowl and went back to another. But now we get zero respect and it's all luck. Mahomes ain't this, Mahomes ain't that. But yeah, man, that hype it might come back to bite him at the end of the year. Like I've been saying in the group chat, I think we'll see him in the playoffs. I think we'll still win because I think we just got that monkey over Josh Allen right as of right now in his career. So it'll definitely be interesting to see. But right now, they do look like the best team in football. I would take us second with all we're doing, a young defense, all new offensive talent. We still handling business. And, despite what people want to say of, oh, that could have been an interception. He should have called it. What if the refs didn't call this or that? Mahomes got 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and we're 2-0. If
Yeah.
we can keep pulling off wins and he can keep putting up good stats, I still feel like he should be an MVP favorite based on, all the narratives coming around this offseason. But I doubt the fans and media will want to give that to him. So it'll be interesting to see as the season unfolds. But we just 2 weeks in, man. But football, these games are really good to start off with. They're action packed, a lot of big surprises, a lot of things, crazy things happening in the games. Kickers missing kicks they should miss.
Oh man,
People going
that's
off for 20 plus points like Miami in the fourth quarter. The Jets rode off an amazing comeback with a minute 30 seconds down two scores versus them this week, man. It's a lot of amazing games going on, man, and we're just gonna keep bringing y'all this podcast, keep getting better, keep bringing y'all all the top headlines and discussing what we think is gonna happen moving forward, man. But that's a wrap on another episode. I believe this is episode 12, if I'm not mistaken, episode 12 or 13, man.
I
Week
lost
two,
count.
starting to lose count, man. That's how
Yeah.
it's getting to, man. Week two NFL recap. Like I said, I'm not in the location I want to be at, but with my car problems last week, we weren't able to get y'all the podcast twice a week. But this week, we're gonna get y'all this podcast
No.
regardless. We
Sure.
appreciate all of y'all tuning in and showing us love. Keep showing us support. We're gonna keep, grinding, keep bringing out all these episodes for you, man. And we're gonna get back to y'all with another episode Thursday morning. This one will drop Wednesday, tomorrow morning, but we're gonna get another episode for y'all Thursday morning with all of our picks and a week 3 preview for NFL and college football and touch on a little college football recap as well. But like I said, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you've listened all the way through to this, it's your kids from the neighborhood, Bryce, my dog Cam, and we signing
Sure.
out, man.
I need it.